It wasn't actually, it's like any other village. This old grocer, I found this old grocer kind of wandering back in towards the area where the Civic Auditorium used to be. When I first did the work, I took a tour with the community. I needed to see what they wanted to see and understand the community. I'd worked in other communities in Albuquerque. And so I spent a lot of time talking to different people in the community, finding out what was important, what wasn't important. Sometimes things like that surprised me. But in a way, they just let me, after they showed me what they felt about the community, they allowed me to just freely roam. Haunting, I guess that's just sort of my style. That's the way I shoot. Try to let people present themselves as they are. I think probably the most haunting picture is the young couple with the girl who's pregnant and the young man. And that's actually a picture that was very controversial when I submitted the body of work. But I was really proud of the community because they had the courage of their conviction and said, this is a part of our community that exists and needs to be here too. When I went around with the people in the community, it wasn't like, they explained what the boundaries of what they considered Martineztown were. But when you walk through a community, it's very different from a car community. And at that point in time, and even now, it's still a community you can walk through. You can get from one end of it to another in 15 or 20 minutes. And I think it helped that we walked through it. Most of the time, we don't see a community for what it is because we're in the car. We're driving through the community and we don't see it. And yet, just looking out the door now, there's kids playing out there. There's another community dynamic that goes on within this small island that's Martineztown. And so I see it the same way. It was just, for me, there are vast expanses in the photographs, but the photographs are really about intimate space. Whether I'm in somebody's front yard or in their house or on their porch or standing on the street. It's about how that community reacts within the space, and that's what's really important to understanding it. It's trying to be an intimate view. I work a lot with wide-angle lenses. I like wide-angle lenses so that even when the people are small in the photographs, they're actually very close to me. And when I get really close, I'm really close to people. The frame that I was asked to produce this body of work, no feast days happen. But I was very aware that the churches had to be in. I mean, I was told very specifically, for example, that the Presbyterian church had to be in. You'd be amazed how many northern New Mexico villages have both a Catholic church and a Hispanic Presbyterian church. So I had to make both those pictures. The problem is they give you a period of time that the grant is funded and the work literally has to be on the wall. And just by a bad luck, I didn't get to photograph, the Matachinas dancing for the Catholic Church. I didn't get to photograph, any of the kind of community celebrations that go on in the Presbyterian Church. I just had to have those two pictures give context to the community. The Presbyterian Church with a lowrider and the Catholic Church kind of with the kids in front of that kind of walkway, almost pilgrimage way that leads us up to the church that rises like a beacon over Martineztown. Community applied for this grant for me. I didn't apply for it. They won the grant, asked me to do it. So there was absolutely a they. There was, a counselor and representatives and just general people in the community who said, this is our community and this is what we want. And they wanted to match a wall that's behind this gallery where it's the memory wall. So the idea was, let's take a look at the past of Martineztown and then let's create a snapshot, a moment, and freeze it. Some I printed to tell the story of Martineztown, but I don't necessarily think they're the absolute greatest photographs, but I think they're good photographs. And sometimes we dwell too much on the good and not enough on the story. And I'm hoping there's a story of a period of time where you have lowrider mechanics and an Elvis impersonator and young couples and older people and dogs on the street. I mean, all of those things. because a community evolves. And even when I made the pictures 15 years ago, one of the things I told a lot of people is my goal is that someday these would come down and somebody else, and hopefully somebody from Martineztown, would make another set of photographs, another snapshot in time that would be presented here to show the difference.
What we want.